Excuse me.
I'm not giving to LeBron because I don't like LeBron.
I like him already.
On the stat sheet, so like taking charges, like that's my favorite thing. I like a charge in my mixtape. My friend texted me, he's like, I never seen someone put a charge in the mixtape. I'm like defense wins games. Like,
so there was a constant battle about Dunkin' Donuts versus Tim Hortons, and it was it's never ending.
You know, I got up, I fixed my helmet, I look, and I just see Herb take off. Like he just, I just see the hair flowing, like now going running, and. Yeah, you got to see Herb. When he runs, his eyes are always like, so I just knew, like, you know, I knew he was running, you know, so.
Like, go out there, defend, go out there, rebound, like, give your heart, like, sacrifice. You can get a scholarship just for defense, you know what I'm saying?
But, man, this guy's unstoppable when it comes to basketball as well. But, yeah, definitely one-on-one, he got me.
Fried rice, you can't be eating fried rice all the time. But
you'd be switching your sports, you'd be going from basketball to sumo.
I know. I already got the bun, you see?
Now, the spider tech basically is just like completely just crazy, like should not be allowed. Rosin and sunscreen and everything, that's been around forever and it's never been a true problem. But right now, like the big thing is spin rates are up.
It's our defense because Mace, you know, you're going to get 285, 280 hit you, and you got to, you know, and I'm only 240, you know, so I got to now bring my technique. And then KT's just a freak athlete in itself, so you know you gotta bring your hard hat and your lunch pail every day.
Can I just say this? Man, I just love your competitive nature, bro. Like, you know, I feel like I'm ready to strap on the jersey right now, man. I mean, I'm only 5'5", so I don't know what I can do.
I'm gonna say Diana, man. I don't know what it is. She just always seems to come up clutch all the time, 24/7.
When they say, listen, you know how as coaches you get mad at the guy just standing in the corner and watching another guy cook. I can't be like that because I was watching you cook.
Running, it's like if you take a day off, like you'll feel it, and if you take 4 months off, you're really gonna feel it.
It was impeccable. So watching certain highlights, I'm like, yo, I gotta try it. And trust me, not everything was as good as it looked now. Because, you know, I mean, no look passes I threw off of somebody's face.
Well, NFL is upon us. What do you got to say so far?
I'm excited, man. You know, I was watching some of the game before we got on, and hey, the Cowboys, I don't know what the score is now, but they're putting up a little fight right now. I mean, but Brady looked good. 14-7. Is it who? Bucks are up or Cowboys?
Of course they're up. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I would say I'm a little nervous when they come to New England because the way they can just score quickly is just ridiculous.
Can you say that one more time? I didn't hear you.
I'm a little nervous.
A little nervous
when the Bucks come to New England. Please, Patriots, you step up that defense because, man, the Bucks are looking scary already.
2 weeks ago, you were saying you're not nervous at all.
I guess that's what the GOAT does. You know, I guess that's what Brady does. 44 years old. Impressive.
It's insane. Then we had, you know, week one college football.
Oh, my gosh. Was it great or not? I mean,
unbelievable. I'm like, you know, I said Bryce Young, who knows what we're going to see out of this kid. Of course, he's an Alabama product. Of course, he shredded that Miami defense.
Oh my gosh! And Miami the fans were so excited for this game. A lot of them think
the premature turnover game.
Yeah, exactly. And then Alabama but I remember I texted you and you said apples and oranges. I said, you
said, what's going on with your, Alabama over Oregon? I said, listen, all right, apples and oranges. Yeah. But hey, we'll see. Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see.
When Oregon beats the Ohio.
That's going to be a tough one.
Hey, big shout out, Dom Welch. Finally got my shirt.
Yes. Shout out, Dom.
Definitely big shout out to all the collegiate athletes out there.
Yes.
Especially our past guests that are pushing through week one onto week two.
Mm-hmm.
Even, basketball players getting ready for the season. And, especially Theo.
Yes. Yes, let's go.
Third year.
Let's get it. Let's go.
We're stepping a little bit out of the box right now. This isn't our normal, but hey, we have a coach, which I know Charles is doing his own little thing right now. He might be stealing some of this to go on.
No.
He's already got his cards ready. He's ready.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got Coach Joel Rodriguez out of FIU. The man has probably an impeccable he's got an amazing resume, and he's hilarious to talk to so far.
Right.
Can't wait to see what we uncover. He said everything is on the table. Nothing's off limits. Maybe we should push some buttons. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
But yeah, we typically keep our little intro videos to a minute, but this one,
is worth the watch.
It's definitely worth it, and you'll see why. Let's go ahead and get Coach Joel. We'll call him Joel. We'll call him JRod. We'll figure it out.
JRod.
So I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's go. Let's get him on here.
What's up, Panther fans? Coach Rodriguez here, baby. Pause up. What's up, baby? Little long stick. Pair him up. Pair him up. Pair him up. I guess so, yeah. Face means an offense. So we'll work into the end zone. Into the end zone, right? He's up. He's up. He's up. And get outside of him, Shane. No, outside. Outside. Go. Wind the edge. Wind the edge. Wind the edge. Wait inside foot. Stay square. Now we're going full recovery. So one edge, all three levers, right? So widen the foot, lock the arm out, tuck the chin. Right down and ready. Go. Widen. 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 Good, Cam. Good. Nice job. Good. Widen it. Widen it. Good. Widen it. Widen it. Widen it. Power. 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 Before we did the fitted mirror drill, where we're here, and then we're here, and then we're here, right? Remember? That's what we're doing, right? Okay? That's a precursor to this drill. It's like Star Wars, there's precursors, there's prequels, all kind of. Come join us right in the bright side, baby, come on. What's up, Strickland? We do a little super score, baby. How many you talking about? Okay. All right, what do they give you a Taco Bell to eat with, right? A fork or what? A spork, right? A spork, right? Form a spork, right? Pinkies together, right? Form a spork, right? Right, fingers on the ground, reach for that ball, pick it up, score it, right? Da-da-da, da-da-da. You good? Whole body from the ball. There you go, good, nice job, good. Spork it up, spork it up, spork it up. Good, nice job. Spork, good. Spork it up, da-da-da, da-da-da. Love it. Last one. Good. Rotate. Go. Good stab, good. Go! Good.
There it is. What do we call you? JRod?
JRod's good. JRod's good. That's what the players call me most of the time. So.
Oh, okay. Nice. Welcome, man. Hey, we appreciate you, man, especially with your schedule being possibly all over the place, with the season being here, man. We appreciate you coming on and giving us your time.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It's always fun to come around and talk a little ball and talk a little other things too. So
telling you, those T-shirts, spork it up. They definitely got to be made.
Yes.
Like I said, I like everything else that every other coach in history has ever done. Nothing's original. So I stole that kind of whole coaching point from Coach Manny Diaz at Miami, and hopefully one day we can get T-shirts made and get some proceeds, get some Yetis made too. Maybe, who knows? So.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, 305 Yeti you got going on there?
I do. I have the 305 Dominoes.
Oh,
and then the 305 sign right there.
Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram. Tell me you're from Miami without telling me you're from Miami.
100%. I got a couple of T-shirts, and I have all kinds of 305 memorabilia. So very, very proud to be coaching for the home team.
Hey, there you go. Nice.
Now, walking through it, what do you typically do to fire your guys up, whether it be before practice or before a game?
Yeah. It's funny. I was just having this discussion with a couple of the newer coaches on our staff that are new to us this year. And I'm probably the one coach that I've played for, worked for that has had the biggest influence on me is Mike Munchak, who was my O-line coach in Tennessee when I played for the Titans, who's now, I think Munch is in Denver now. So my college line coach, Art Kehoe, was a very fiery guy,
pregame speeches, fire and brimstone. They're disrespecting you. It's homecoming, all that stuff. You know what I mean? And I thought that's kind of what coaching was. And for some people it is, Munch was like the total opposite. Munch's big thing is like, hey, your motivation is going to come from your preparation. And the more prepared I can make you feel, the better you're going to play, the more confidently you're going to play. So I'm not really a big raw guy. And honestly, if our guys need a big raw from me before they go play a game, then I probably have the wrong guys playing for me. You know what I mean? So I'm like, and my players will tell you, like, pretty much. So we had our last full physical practice this morning, right? Okay. Then we have, a walk through tomorrow, and then we'll go to the hotel, we're going to play if we're going away or whatever it is, and go play Saturday. And I probably spend less than 25 minutes talking to my players between Thursday afternoon and we do have meetings Friday morning, but once we leave the facility on Friday and either go on a plane or go to the hotel, I speak to my players for like less than 25 minutes before about the game plan or whatever. It's at that point it's on them, and it's their time to get, because every player is different. Some guys need to like listen to death metal and bang against the wall. You know what I mean? Some guys want to take a nap before a game on the bus, or whatever. And I'm very respectful of everyone's different. That's your time. Get in your headspace to get yourself ready to go play a game.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know. Do you use that as well as players like maybe not thinking too much of the big day and just giving them some time for themselves and just because I know as a former player as well, like as a kid I was dealing with anxiety and I didn't really want to think too much about the upcoming game because of that nervousness and like, man, especially since it being the first game, do you typically use that tool to just maybe give the players just a break mentally?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, but it's not just a first game thing; it's an every game thing for me. It's just how I am. So I'm a big believer in like practice. Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's about building the muscle memory that's needed to perform. The techniques and the fundamentals that are going to be successful on Saturday. Obviously, you know what I mean. The meetings are for correcting those things or introducing new things maybe that are unique to the game plan, whatever. But in all reality, like I said, the game is usually won or lost way before you get to the stadium on Saturday afternoon.
Right.
Now, it's probably easier in all reality, in my experience, to lose the game by trying to do something extra or more than it is by just keeping it consistent. And every coach is different, right? Like say you're playing your big rivalry game, right? So like Dan, I know you're an Oregon fan, right? So Oregon's playing Ohio State on Saturday, right? That's obviously a bigger game, on the mind of most people than Fresno State wins. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Although both wins count the same in the win column, you know what I mean? But I get it. Not all wins are created equal, right? So if all of a sudden that staff at Oregon starts acting differently, coaching differently, doing things differently this week than it did last week or in previous weeks, then that sends a message to the players that something's different and something's screwed up. And I think in sports we're all kind of creatures of habit. Yeah. And we like knowing the routine, the schedule, and knowing, and consistency. Because ultimately, trust is consistency over time, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if I become inconsistent with my message or my delivery with my players, I'm going to lose some of their trust. So that's why I'm big on kind of being the same guy every day. Good, bad, or different.
Wow, well said.
Now, I know we talked about your music taste.
Uh-oh.
And, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to choke you up.
No, you're good.
So I think the past players that we've had on here, they listen to like Lil Baby, Little Irv. I don't know. I can't even think of these guys' names anymore.
Yeah.
And, when I'm putting these Instagram stories together, I'm walking down the street, because I'm a mailman. I'm delivering while I'm putting this stuff together. And Charles even said it to me. He's like, I can just picture you walking down the street, just listening to this music. And I have no clue. But as soon as you dropped, Biggie, Lost Boys, Outkast, I was like, finally. When it comes to these new recruits you got coming in and these younger kids, do you put that in their head, say, listen, this is real music?
Absolutely.
I don't know what the mumble crap is you're listening to. All right. Is that one thing you blast Outkast, Stankonia?
100%. Like literally, like I had either Gangstar or Mobb Deep playing in my office just a day or two ago. And when my players walked in, it was like, Coach, my dad actually would rock that song like in the house on Sundays all the time. Like, he was like, I'm like, yeah, that's why it's on right now, because me and old man are probably at the same age. No, absolutely it is. Yeah, it's funny. Like, I did it last year more because it was my first year on staff with these guys, and they were kind of getting to know me, and we had lost so much time with COVID, but I would start the meetings actually, or I would make a point to have music playing in the meeting room as they walked in. Because we're a morning practice team, so our day starts with a 7:15 meeting, right? That goes until about 8 o'clock or so. Then we have practice starting at 8:30. So guys, obviously they're college kids, right? So they're up late, either doing homework or doing other things, right? But they're probably
we'll stick with doing homework.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So they're up at like 6:30, and they're coming on campus for breakfast, and they get treatment and taping and whatever, because they come to meetings already taped and dressed already. So it's an early day for those guys. So by the time they get to you, they're tired. So that was kind of my thing to kind of give them a little bit about my personality, right? And kind of but also kind of give them a little wake up call, like, hey, like this is a meeting room, and it can be fun, right? To learn and get prepared to go kick some ass, right? Saturday, right? So when I played music, at least one day a week, I would play my own music, and I would use that as an opportunity to introduce them to, more Biggie, more Nas, right? More Gangstar, more whatever, Tupac, whatever it is, and not just the stuff you hear like on like every like top 100 radio station. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But the funniest story I have about that, which is hilarious, actually, is probably about I think I mentioned it to you guys via text or DM. I think it was like Halloween, like 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. I was at my sister's house, and my brother-in-law and I have similar taste in music. He's a little bit older than I am, but we have very similar taste in music. And we both, he's a little bit more like, I'm a little more open to some of the newer stuff. I'll listen to it. Doesn't matter, we'll like it all, but I'll give it a chance. He's like anti anything pre-1999 or whatever. So we're on the driveway passing out candy to trick-or-treaters, and as kids were coming a little bit older, we're bringing like the little beatbox or the little pill with them playing their music. He's like, no, you need to sit down here. Like, if you want candy, sit down here for a second. All right, okay, you're gonna earn this candy by listening to this one song by
I like it.
One Biggie song.
I like it.
So, and of course, as the more adult beverages you had, it got a little more aggressive with the music you're playing. So it was a good night.
Big L's definitely on that playlist. Teach him some Ebonics while you're at it.
Hey, speaking of music, who's in your top 5 of all time?
I would say Biggie.
As one? Is it
Biggie as one?
Okay.
Biggie as one. Nas. Okay. Outkast. I would say Gangstar 4.
Yep.
And God, wow. I mean, I like Lost Boys, but I can't say I put them in my top 5. I mean, probably Jay-Z 5, to be honest with you.
Hey, and I was just about to say, because if you would have missed Jay-Z, it would have been like probably the biggest news in the world, because either everybody puts him at number 1 or 2. You know what I mean? And also, I don't think you said Tupac, right? Did you say Tupac in there?
It's funny, when I was like, as I've gotten older, for some reason he's dropped on my list a little bit, and I don't know what it is, but it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
The older I've gotten more into Gangstar, more into Mobb Deep, more into Nas.
Yeah,
and a little bit less on Pac.
Right.
Weird, right. But I don't know. So
yeah.
The first of the month, I wake up and I play that Bone Thugs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I love it.
Yeah, you mentioned you're Cuban, correct?
I am.
What made you fall in love with football? Did you play any other sports growing up?
I played every sport. So my old man came over from Cuba. My parents came over, but my old man came over when he was like in middle school age, right? Lived in Chicago actually for a couple of years, and then ended up in South Florida. And so my old man went to high school down here. So my old man was raised by a single mom and was never whatever. So his mom my grandma was like, listen, like, you got to be in sports because otherwise you're gonna get in trouble, right? So he played football, baseball, basketball, wrestling, the whole 9. And I was raised kind of similar, right? I was raised by a single dad, actually. My old man raised me for the most part. And my old man was like, all right, like, I got to go to work, so I can't be home, which means you can't be home, because if you're home by yourself, you're going to get in trouble, because I know how young boys are. So pretty much I was raised by every coach I had at the local youth league at the park down the street. So it was soccer season, football season, baseball season, basketball, wrestling, baseball, like whatever was in season, I was doing it. I just was never home because that was his thing. So playing all those sports, eventually, obviously, you gravitate more towards certain things, right? Because of body type or, just ability or whatever. So by the time I got to like late middle school, early high school, football, basketball, and wrestling kind of became kind of like the three things that were kind of like were more so in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I did all through high school. Were those three sports. But of course, by the time I was, I guess, a junior in high school, I was, I stopped kind of growing this way and started growing this way a little bit. You know what I mean? I was a tall kid, but I wasn't, tall for a Division I scholarship basketball player. You know what I mean? But I was a pretty good size for an offensive lineman. So that kind of took its own kind of path.
Wow.
Yeah. So my old man literally put the ball, in the crib, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So you say basketball, and I know we're discussing football. I'm a basketball coach. I just gotta ask, who were you looking at during that time with the game of basketball? What player were you?
Well, so I mentioned when my dad first came over from Cuba in the late 50s, early 60s. He lived in Chicago for until he was in late elementary school, early middle school. So my dad's first experience with sports in the United States was the Bulls, the Cubs, the Bears, the Blackhawks, right? So that's kind of what we grew up with. Like, to this day, my dad's still a huge Bulls, Bears, Blackhawks, Cubs fan. Wow. Although he's lived in South Florida since he was, a sophomore in high school or something.
Yeah.
So we grew up watching the Bulls.
Oh, nice.
And of course, it was the Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, the Bulls. You know what I mean? That we grew up watching. So it was a hell of a time to be a Bulls fan.
Oh, that's great.
You got to say it. You got to put a nail in the coffin of this debate. Who's the GOAT?
Oh, Michael Jordan, 100%.
Thank you. I know you in Miami. I wouldn't have been mad if you said LeBron.
No, absolutely. No.
I know he gave you guys some chips, but
he did. And LeBron will never or should never pay for a beer in Miami. You know what I mean? But I mean, and for anybody that like the timing of that whole Last Dance series was awesome because of course captive audience, right? Everyone's home during COVID. No one can do anything. You're just trying to find stuff to watch. You can only watch Tiger King so many times, right? You know what I mean? So if that didn't show why he was the GOAT, you know what I mean? Just the way he's hardwired, I don't know what else could, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's number one in my book all time. And there's really not a whole lot of people that are close to being second, in my opinion.
I love Jordan, but if it wasn't for Charles pushing me almost every day to watch that, Last Dance, I would have never watched it.
It's amazing. I love and it, to me, it has so much more value now because a lot of the kids who I say kids, right? Guys that I coach, right? That we're around, who were born in the late '90s, right? You know what I mean? Like they never saw Jordan play, the real Michael Jordan play.
Yeah.
They see YouTube videos, whatever, but to see that the whole kind of anthology of his life and how it went and how he became kind of this larger than life figure is awesome.
Yeah,
because we kind of caught the tail end of him, and then he went on his baseball adventure, and then he came back and played for who did he play for, the Wizards or
Wizards
at the very end, at the very end.
Yeah.
That's almost like I feel like people, hopefully at least 20, 30 years from now, people will forget that ever happened. Almost kind of how people our parents forgot that Terry Bradshaw ended his career playing for whoever the Chargers or whoever it was, or Joe Namath played for somebody, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that happens too. We forget that ever happened.
Yeah,
because that wasn't Michael Jordan.
No, I have his baseball card somewhere somewhere down here. So it's in a box.
The Birmingham Barons, right?
Yeah. Hey, as a college coach, man, what does a typical day or week look like?
Oof, that's a long answer. The one thing I will tell you is the workload and the hours lighten up immensely as the week goes on. So the early part of the week it's freaking brutal. It really is. You know what I mean? And by today, really by Thursday, but even by Wednesday night, you know, you kind of see light in the tunnel a little bit. You know what I mean? So because what happens is you play the game on Saturday, and nowadays, unless you're in a conference that has some kind of a really good TV tie-in, most of your games are on Saturday night. You know, because ESPN controls kind of everything. They want to have, you know, ESPN 3, ESPN Plus, ESPN Ocho, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? So, so for example, like our game on Saturday is at 8 p.m. I think at 7 or 7:30 at night this weekend against Texas State, right? So we'll play that game. The game won't be done till midnight, probably, or close to midnight, right? By the time you shower and get to your office and get back up to your office, it's past midnight, right? And then you pretty much, you know, some guys go to bed that night. Some guys, I like to grade it before I go to sleep and then just get up in the morning fresh and start to compile the information, you know?
Yeah.
So you're not going to bed till probably 2, 3 in the morning. And that's if it's a home game. If it's an away game, like, for example, we play Texas Tech at Texas Tech next week, and it's a night game, which means you got to play the game, then everyone shower up, get back on the bus, drive to the airport, fly back here. So, I mean, the sun might beat us home, you know, on Sunday morning, you know, after Texas Tech. But either way. So Sunday, really, you have really all morning, early afternoon to kind of watch it again, grade it, compile your grades, your stats, that kind of stuff. You know, get ready to present what the results were to the staff and to your players. And then usually, now some teams will not meet with their players on Sundays and have all day Sunday just to kind of put the game to bed and then sort of get a head start on the game plan for Mondays. Everywhere, or almost everywhere I've worked, it's been the opposite. We've always had the players come in on Sunday afternoons, you know, meet, maybe have a light practice, introduce, maybe make some corrections, or have, you know, a little bit of intro to the opponent. And then Monday's been their day off. I like that schedule better because it makes more sense for the players, because that way they have a day off that's an academic day. You know, give them off on Sunday when no one's working on campus Sunday, so they can't do shit academically, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
So anyways, but Monday's off for the players. For us, that's our grind day, because we got a game plan pretty much all the first, second down, right? All the formations. I mean, as much as we can get the game plan on Monday, we do. So you're pretty much game planning from, you know, 7, 8 in the morning until probably, you know, 8, 9 o'clock at night, you know. Because I mean, that's your first, second down in the open field. That's 80% of your play calls, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
So you do that on Monday, and for us, we practice in the morning. So like, not only are you game playing on Monday, but before you leave the office Monday night, everything has to be ready for Tuesday morning practice, right? So like your scripts, your cards for the scout team, your practice plan, like everything's like your meeting preparation. That's all done before you leave the building on Monday night. Because Tuesday morning you walk in the building at say 6:37, and you meet the players within 15, 20 minutes, and you're installing a game plan pretty much. You know, at least the first down game plan.
Yeah.
Right? So we meet the players Tuesday morning for a little bit. We have practice. They'll come back upstairs, have to shower, eat lunch, whatever, and then watch the practice. That takes probably, you know, hour and a half or so, you know, go through everything, make any corrections. And then now we go to work on game planning, third down, game planning, red zone, right? So that takes really the bulk of that day as well, you know. And then again, same thing. Tuesday night, you can't leave until everything's ready for Wednesday morning practice, right? Scripts, cards, practice plan, everything, right? You know, so Tuesday, Monday, and Tuesday nights tend to be, you know, those are the days that can bleed into like, you know, 11, 12 at night sometimes. You know what I mean? If you're not careful, and then and you're burning on both ends, so you're back in the morning at 6 a.m. or earlier. You know, but by the time you hit Wednesday, you've got third down, you got red zone, you've got, you know, now you're doing 2-minute drill. You know, you're doing. There's some of the more obscure situations that may not come up in a game at all, but those take a half hour to game plan maybe or something. And then you're really kind of going through and saying, okay, like, you know, now we've got, you know, a good look at what our players, you know, are good at this week. You know, we've run a couple things a couple times, you know, what's new that we got to scratch, you know, because you always want to make your game plan as tight as possible, right? You don't want to have any kind of excess fat on that thing if you can avoid it, you know. So really Wednesday night into Thursday is all about just, you know, cutting and making it as tight as possible, really. But by Thursday, right, you know, that's your dress rehearsal practice. It's not super physical, you know, it's kind of a situational stuff, you know, some drives, that kind of everything. A lot of kicking game stuff goes on during that practice as well. And then you're honestly, like, our staff meeting on Thursdays is between like 2 o'clock or so. and then you could be out the door by 3:00 on Thursday if you're smart. Like today, I was on the road, heading home by 4. Which is awesome.
So that's a win.
That's a huge win, and that's usually where you're gonna have your date night. You know what I mean, or your family night. Where you take us dinner or help with the homework or give kids or whatever it is. Because then Friday rolls around. Usually we start a little bit later on Friday. We sleep in a little more. Kids sleep in a little more, and then we start going with you have a walkthrough. You have a meeting. You have a walkthrough, and then if you're on the road, then you're showering up and putting on a suit and getting the plane and going, kick someone's ass and work with yourself. You know what I mean? Or if it's a home game, then the kids go to class and they come back in the afternoon about 3-4 o'clock. You jump on a bus and you go to your home hotel. So home games are awesome for coaches because for most time you have that time from 11 a.m. or 12 o'clock when they go to class until the hotel at 5 to go get a haircut, go to oil change, run errands, that kind of stuff. And that's a normal week. That's a normal week.
I wonder what an NFL coach goes through. Jesus.
Well, it's brutal. The worst is and I cannot imagine this, but what's actually makes ours even harder sometimes than the NFL schedule is the NFL, at least all they're doing is football. What I don't mention in those crevices of time is recruiting, right? You got to carve out an hour to text and call recruits. You got to carve out an hour to watch recruiting tape here or there. So where does that time come from? You got to really commit to it and have hey, every Monday at 7 o'clock for an hour, I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to text and call the top 10, 12 guys on my board. Otherwise, I'm not going to talk to them. You know what I mean? Or I'm going to watch recruits on Thursday before I go home for an hour, on huddle or something. But the worst is when you have a short week, when you have a Saturday to a Friday turnaround, or a Saturday to a Thursday, because then you lose a whole day and a half. And God forbid it's a road game you're coming off of. Because then you lose a whole 2 days almost. So that is you're talking about not having player safety and coaches safety. In mind, it's those short weeks are brutal. They're brutal.
Oh my gosh, man! Hey, that's credit to you for just keep going, because that's a real grind. That's a real grind, man.
It's called being a glutton for punishment.
We talked about that a little bit off. Hey, I got a question coming in on YouTube. How much time is spent between field conditioning versus weight training in a normal day?
So, good question. In season. Honestly, there's not much of either, really. I should say not much either. There's very little time. So there's very little time spent on field conditioning in season because you're practicing football. And the whole point of having football practice is the practice should be structured in a way to where they're getting in football shape by practicing playing football. Now, in the off season, that's where you have, you're doing your sprints, your 110s, your conditioning, your agility circuit stuff. That's happening from January when they come back all the way through until when training camp starts in August. There's not as much of that, really any of that happening in season as much. The weight training or conditioning stuff, that does happen. So our kids do lift 2 to 3 times a week after practice, on Sundays. They have a schedule based off their class schedule where different guys come in, but they'll get 1 or 2 lifts done between Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they'll get 1 done on Sunday as well. But that's going to be probably as much about maintenance as it is going to be about gaining strength for guys. Because some of these guys are. You have those GPS things, those trackers on those guys. You know what I mean? Some of these guys run 3, 4, 5 miles a day at practice. You know what I mean? So to go out there and go run more gassers afterwards or whatever, especially in the heat and humidity in South Florida, you're asking for a soft muscle tissue issue or fatigue issue. So. Wow. And the other thing too, people don't understand is in college football, at least in the NCAA, you're only allowed 20 hours a week of mandatory football activity you can do with your players. That includes meetings, practice, game, everything. And 3 hours of that is already allocated to the game. So it's really only 17 hours a week you're allowed. So you have to be very, very efficient with your meeting time, with your time on the field, with your time in the weight room. It has to all fit in that 17-hour window. So to go out there and have a 2.5-hour practice and have a half hour of it be just conditioning, you're literally wasting that time where it's better spent meeting to get ready for the opponent, or doing practice prep stuff that's more applicable to the game on Saturday.
Wow, man, that's incredible to hear, because I didn't know that you only had a small portion of time with your players.
Yeah, it's funny. I tell people, like, in the recruiting process, I tell parents. So parents ask, how do you balance, the academic rigors with football and being an athlete? I said, ironically, your son will probably spend less time dedicated to football as a college athlete as he does as a high school athlete. Because as a high school athlete, like, there's no rule in most states, and if there is, nobody follows it, nobody enforces it, that says that a high school coach can keep their kid out there for 5 hours of practice, right? Or more than 3 hours in a day, or give them at least one day off a week or whatever it is. And in the NCAA, like, if we break, you hear about all the time, like, every year there's 1 or 2 coaching staffs that break that rule, and they get docked, recruiting days, they get docked, a game without pay, they get docked, all kinds of stuff. You can't mess with that 20-hour rule, especially nowadays with so much emphasis being put on player welfare, mental health, player wellness. Like, we need time off from them. They for sure need time off from us. So.
Wow. I guess that kind of coincides with my next question. You playing in the collegiate level and you coaching the collegiate level now. What would you say are the 2 differences between when you played and the way that the game is being played, as well as what's going on, between players and coaches right now?
Yeah. Well, I think the 2 biggest things that come to mind, number one is how the game is played, and more importantly, how it's practiced and how it's prepared. I feel like we are much more efficient with our time, and more so with the players' time now. Like, so for example, like that 20-hour rule, I'm not sure what year it went into place, but I can guarantee you that was not even a thought process when I played college football, at least my first couple of years. Like, I mean, I go back and think of like my freshman year and the hours we're at practice and pre-practice meetings, post-practice meetings. I'm like, we're almost at 35 hours, so I'm not sure if that rule either wasn't in place back then or like no one really followed it really. But I can tell you nowadays in college football, it is followed very, very closely, because like every football program has to turn in like a time report for every player every week.
Oh, wow.
And it gets signed off on by the head coach, by the compliance director, and by an athlete. So, you can't just like, sneak one past the goalie, because an athlete has to sign off on it essentially. And if they say, wait a minute, on Sunday we weren't off, we had to come in for this, that, you're going to get screwed, So
wow.
That's the first thing I would say is I think that there's much more of an emphasis put on efficiency of time, whether it's meeting or practice or whatever, because the time we're actually following the rules a lot better now, I think. As far as that goes. In terms of the player-coach relationship or whatever it is, like the transfer portal, the NIL stuff, like that's obviously changed college football forever, and I personally freaking love it.
There you go.
I know some coaches are like, oh, it's not BS. I love it. Okay. And
it's about time. It's about time.
Yeah. And here's why I love it. Number one, we have been, actually, we as coaches or as the NCAA, whatever, right? We have been making a ton of money for a ton of years off these kids' freaking backs. It's about damn time they can go and do the same for themselves, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the American way. Like what we were doing before was communism, essentially, right? You know what I mean? Like this is the American way, right? Like free market values, free market whatever. I'm all for it. And in terms of the transfer portal and players having more of a voice, I'm all for that too. Here's why. Like some coaches are like, well, listen, if a normal kid wanted to transfer from FIU to FAU or from Miami to Florida, a normal student, he could do it and have no issue whatsoever. Why is there for a college athlete, right? I mean, we're saying they're amateurs and all that kind of stuff. They should have the same rules everyone else does. In my opinion, right, okay, and now there are certain things that the NCAA needs to fix about the way roster management is handled and so on to make room for some of the issues that the portal has created, which is the whole conversation. But in my opinion, it is your job as a coach, whether it be a head coach, a coordinator, or just the O-line coach, right? Okay, to create an environment and a culture that people don't want to leave.
Yeah.
Right. Be honest with them, treat them right, treat them with respect. Okay, right, and do what you say and say what you do. Right. Yeah. That's like people don't normally leave relationships. Like people don't get divorced if somebody is honest with them and treats them right, whatever. Right. They usually it's because the opposite, right? It's the same. Right. It's the same thing in college athletics. If you lie to a kid in the recruiting process, just to get him on campus, he should have the right to leave once he calls you on your BS.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, does that mean that every kid that leaves is in the right? No. You know, sometimes kids got to fight through some stuff and kind of fight the bullet and kind of grit and earn some stuff. I get that there is a bit of a microwave culture going on that, you know, they want instant gratification. I get all that. But at the end of the day, it's our job to create an environment that people don't want to leave. Right? And I'm all for things that put more power and more, and I say more power, but equal power and equal responsibility on the player's plate. Because for too long, it's been the opposite. And that's my stance.
And you see that a little bit because it's interesting you say that when it comes to players being more aware and speak a lot more about, you know, it could be different type of issues around the world. Like a lot of things that's been coming out lately the past few weeks with the Patriots, for example, with Bill Belichick. I forget who, I think it was Asante Samuel. You know, he's just straight out said, listen, Bill Belichick would just be a regular coach if Tom Brady wasn't around. I guarantee you, he probably had that exact same feeling when he was playing with Bill Belichick. Because you see it, because Bill Belichick, obviously he's by far the greatest coach in NFL history, in my opinion. But like at the same time, he does have a strict way of having his players not say anything. Now, I used to think about it like, okay, maybe he's just protecting the players from the media. But then I'm like, I don't know, because now you see it with Brady. He's drunk off of tequila. He's he's living his life, which is rightfully so, and he's saying what he wants. He's, you know, he's being, you can see it. He's more free. So I think that's so important for coaches in general to really, like you said, bring that environment, start that environment, and have players just feel welcome and free.
Like for me, I just have a hard time when like when I hear like older coaches say, "Oh, the portal's bad because, you know, it's gonna." You know, it's not how it was, right? Well, there's a lot of things that aren't how they were before, and thank God they're not that way, right? You know what I mean? So, and to me, this is just you can sit there and cry over spilled milk and say, you know, when I was, you know, younger, we were tougher and whatever, and it may be true, but it doesn't make a difference, right? Like this is the culture, this is like the environment around college football, not really all sports nowadays, right? Okay, you can either choose to adapt to it and embrace it to stay in it, or not and get out of it. Right. Yeah. But this is not going away anytime soon. It's not.
Because I really only had one concern when it came to the NIL passing, and then, you know, it's you get one player who's, you know, endorsed by X company. You know, how is that go about in the locker room? How is that, you know, how would that play out if, you know, I think it was De'Aaron King got picked up by college hunks. You know, I don't know if he's sharing the wealth with, you know, his offensive linemen or, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I think the nice thing about that, and whether it does, first of all, I think that kids, like, and I say kids, right? Like that 17 to 25-year-old age range, which we deal with on a daily basis as coaches, as college coaches, right? Okay. They are much more tolerant than we ever were at that age.
Oh yeah,
much more so. I mean, like, it's amazing to me, like, you know, like when the whole thing where like Carl Nassib came out, you know, the first opening gate player or whatever, like, you know, some people our age, and I say, all right, whatever, I'm old, I don't know, but like people for sure older than I am, and people even in my age, I'm 39, were like, oh, I couldn't imagine having, and I'm in my mind, I'm like, you know what? Just by the numbers, on the number of locker rooms I've been in over the course of my career as a high school, college, and professional athlete, I've probably been around multiple, you know, gay athletes. Who cares? Like, no one ever hit on me, so God bless them. Like, I mean, you know, so But when that came up in conversation with my players, it was like, yeah, whatever, coach. Like, we probably have a gay guy on our team right now or two. Who cares? Like, so there's so much more tolerant of all, you know, whether it's a racial issue, you know, a sexual orientation issue, and also I think with the NIL issue, you know, like our running back Devontae Price is a really, really, really good player, right? I mean, he had 160 yards with 5 carries this past week, right? I mean, he had a draftable NFL grade last year and chose to come back, right? Okay, so I imagine, I don't know what any of these guys are getting paid, you know, or their NIL deals are looking like, but I'm imagining that Devontae Price is probably a lot better than our backup right guards, and hell, it should be, right? I mean, he's a bigger name, you know. Now, if he wants to share some of that and take him out to dinner and buy him chicken wings, God bless him. I hope he does. But he doesn't have to. But I think the nice thing about this whole thing is it gives him the ability to do so if he wants to now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like up until this year, if De'Aaron King wanted to take his O-line out to eat chicken wings and eat burgers, or he wanted to buy him T-shirts, whatever, he couldn't do it, right? You know what I mean? It's not legally, and now you can. So like I said, I'm anything that puts more power, more responsibility, more opportunity in the player's lap, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
I've been gobbling up all the NIL merch.
Yeah, that's major. That's major.
I'm supporting these athletes because, like you said, they've the NCAA has been profiting off of them, and if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't be making any money.
I think it's only fair. I think it's only fair.
Yeah.
And I think it's if it's not level, it's not fair, right? But it's the market value, right? De'Aaron King is gonna demand more, or is gonna be able to make more than our quarterback is, right? It's just the way it is, right? You know what I mean? And even within your locker room sometimes, and even within programs, right? Like I know Arkansas has a hell of a deal because they have like Tyson Chicken and Walmart, or like these big corporate sponsors. So they have these, BYU had got a deal where essentially every single walk-on got their scholarship paid for because of something that's amazing. That's not going to be reality for some G5 schools like FIU or Utah State or whatever. Great, you know what I mean? But that's great because of BYU. Like to me, there's enough to go around where everyone's going to get a piece of the pie eventually.
Yeah. I did my research a little bit. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Miami Lakes Hall of Fame member, right?
It was a very, very slow year in Miami Lakes sports that year for the Hall of Fame induction. So.
I mean, but that's a big deal. How does that feel hearing that?
Well, so the current mayor of Miami Lakes, who was the mayor when I got inducted, is actually a friend of mine. I went to high school with him. So I might have had a little bit of an insight
tampering.
Tampering.
The ball was definitely deflated.
Oh, come on.
No, whenever you can like have people look back on your career, whatever the hell it is, right? Playing football or whatever, and have them think that you were good enough to be recognized and enshrined. That's one thing that's like, it's crazy. Like, God willing, 30, 40 years from now, some random person's going to walk into that Optimus Club, clubhouse and see some random picture, some fat guy from Miami. That was a decent player. So it's crazy to think about that, but I've been very, 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 very fortunate. The city I grew up in, Miami Lakes, my high school, have both inducted me into their halls of fames or whatever. And I'm a lot of how I got to that point in the first place is because of the people that I was around in those environments, so it's very, very humbling. It's awesome.
Now I'm gonna read this quote, and I hope that you don't being inducted into that Hall of Fame. Do you look back and say, here's the quote: in 1966, Al Bundy scored 4 touchdowns in a single game while playing for the Polk High School Panthers. In the 1966 City Championship game versus Andrew Johnson High School, including the game-winning touchdown in the final seconds against his old nemesis, Bubba Spare Tire Dixon.
The fact that you know that entire quote is
I only knew the beginning. I just had to Google it right now to get my facts straight. I know he scored 4 touchdowns.
It's extremely impressive either way, though.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure that my career is going to become like a fish story as time goes on, right? I'm going to go from being whatever time all conference player to a 5-time all whatever. So.
That's just that brings back to the Boston Celtics. Brian Scalabrine on the 2008 team. He played like 0 minutes. And
0 minutes.
I'm going to tell my kids 5 years from now I scored the game winner, and then 10 years I'm going to tell them I was the MVP.
Absolutely, why not?
Yeah.
I worked with a guy one time named Steve Bricky, Brian actually, when I was up in New England, and Bricky had been at a bunch of places, coached a bunch of Big 12 schools, and Brick was like, he'd walk in the office and he'd be like, you know what? He's like, back when I was 20, he was like in his probably in his late 50s at that point. He's like, back when I was at your age, he's like, I actually flew to Africa and like wrestled a freaking lion with my bare hands and killed him. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, prove it didn't happen. You can't prove it, right?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Prove it.
Well, that was the old saying back then. Prove it. What was it? I doubt it. You can't prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nowadays, it's like Pixar didn't happen, right? Nowadays, so
Yeah.
So, hopping back into, your upcoming schedule.
Yeah.
Do some of your players have certain games, circled on, big opponents? Because, I'm looking and I see Texas Tech is probably by far a very big game. And,
it is. For a program like us that, we're still kind of like, in that scrappy kind of, we're trying to build it mode, trying to become, listen, up until COVID kind of ravaged us last year. It was a perfect storm of a bunch of crap that went on with COVID injuries and everything else, like everywhere else in the country.
Yeah.
But prior to last year, this program had been to 3 straight bowl games after not going to a bowl game for like 4 years, once Coach Butch Davis first got here. So for a program that's trying to build that level of consistency of going to bowl games every year, competing for conference championships, you really can't take any team, lightly on the schedule, right? So whether it's Long Island last week, or hell, we played Jacksonville State, which is an FCS school, last year and lost. Yeah. Again, we were down to 40 scholarship players, but still, it is what it is. So I don't think anyone's looking past anyone in our schedule. I hope not. But I do know this, right? Because I've coached at FCS schools. When you play an FBS team, so when I was at Fordham, for example, we played Temple in 2013. Temple was coming off of 3 or 4 straight, 9-10-1 seasons. It was Coach Rule's first year there. That was a huge, huge game for those kids, because all those kids were they had a chip on their shoulder, hey, I should be an FBS player, and I'm going to prove it to you now. And we went out and beat Temple at Temple that year, pretty convincingly, actually. So I know that a lot of our guys although they're FBS players, they think, and a lot of them are right, they can compete at the Power 5 level. Right. So when you play a Power 5 school, they played Miami in 19 and beat them, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. FIU has beaten Indiana in the past and other Power 5 schools. So I know that when they play, Texas, a school like Texas Tech, that's our only group. That's our only P5 game this year. There's going to be a certain level of intensity, a certain level of the chip on the shoulder might be a little bit bigger that week. Not because of the opponent, but because of the level of the opponent. Maybe I think and especially for a guy that has draft aspirations or whatever it is, because that's always the knock on guys that don't play at the blue blood programs as well, level competition. Well, but if you show up and play really well against that level of competition, maybe it's not a question mark anymore on your draft resume. So.
As a coach, do you have a pregame ritual? Do you, for yourself, to get yourself going? Or are you just on the same level, like you said earlier?
Not. As a player, I kind of was that way. I had the same handful of songs I listened to in the same order, and I'd want to dress in the same locker and the same undershirt, whatever. But as a coach, I realized that once you get to the stadium, my job, it's their job to win the game now, right? My job is I would say it's done, but it's mostly done. 90% of my job in terms of how can I help influence that outcome of that game is done already. Okay. So I'm actually pretty calm in pregame, to be honest with you. I usually take that time. If we're at home, I'll stay in my office, because our offices are right above our stadium. So you go right downstairs to the locker room and change. So I'll stay in my office and work on some stuff, or text recruits, call recruits. If we're on the road, some of these locker rooms are not very spacious. Busy locker rooms. It's not a Conference USA thing, because it was the same thing in the ACC. It's just some of the places that aren't on purpose. They're uncomfortable. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. So I will literally get to the stadium, put my bag in the locker, and go out to the field and just stand in the sidelines, and I'll FaceTime 3 or 4 or 5 recruits. I'll FaceTime family. From the stadium, whatever, it's kind of cool. Because usually Saturday afternoons, recruits aren't at practice, not at game, if they're available. So you can knock out 4, 5, 6 calls to some of your top guys right on Saturday afternoon. I learned that from Ed Ogeron, actually, when I worked for him at Ole Miss. I'm usually on the sidelines calling recruits, calling home, calling family, just kind of hanging out. If there's a coach on staff and the opposing team that I know and want to talk to, I'll hit them up. Hey, come out and meet me, for a quick little, shit talking session for 5 minutes. And then go inside once the coach locker room has kind of been a little lightened out. You know what I mean? and go get dressed and changed and get ready for the game at that point. But yeah, I'm not a pregame ritual. I'm not I worked with a guy a couple years ago who would get to the stadium and go for a jog, and he'd come back from like in a full-on. So he'd run like stadiums and like.
Oh wow.
Before the game, I'm like, dude, God bless you. I'll pass out at halftime. I won't make it. It's the third quarter, so.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about the trash talk. The coach. I think Coach O put his foot in his mouth, calling out the Sissy Blues when he was playing UCLA over the weekend.
I saw the tweet, or I guess UCLA changed their Twitter banner or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I saw that, and I was like, and I didn't get it because I hadn't followed the game or anything. And then I saw somebody tweeted something out, or maybe ESPN put out a video, whatever, that it kind of showed. They kind of had the mic'd up of him saying it. And I was like, ooh. But if you've worked for Coach O, that doesn't surprise you. That's Coach O being Coach O. So if you're talking up trash, you eventually have to eat your words, right? So.
Yeah, exactly.
There he is.
Yeah.
But I got one last question coming in on YouTube. How much do you enjoy recruiting? Oh no, he's frozen.
Oh.
There, Coach.
We'll get him back on.
He's frozen. We'll just we'll wait a little bit. We'll get to that question. Might be another internet problem.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, just talking to him so far. He's definitely.
Yeah.
He seems like he's just the coach to be around.
Right. I would love to have to play for him, man. Yeah. Just and I think he can relate. Obviously, I think age is so key with some of these players. He's like you say, he's 39, so he understands a lot, but he's an old soul too, so he can mix that up. That's really good. Again, this I'm learning a lot. There we go.
There he is.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. You're good. No problem.
Yeah,
no problem.
So the question was, how much do you enjoy recruiting?
You better enjoy, otherwise you're in the wrong line of work. I do enjoy it. I do actually, because I like it. It's a really cool opportunity to be a part of a family story, right? Like, that's for a lot, myself included. I was the first person in my family to go to and graduate college. Wow. And it's similar. It's a very similar story. Not all, but for a lot of them it is. So.
It's got to be that weather in Miami.
Yeah.
What's that? I'm sorry.
You keep freezing up. I said it's got to be that weather in Miami.
Oh, for sure it is. So I do enjoy it for that. For the relationships and helping. I said, like, it's kind of selfish in a way, but like you get to play a major role in a kid's life story, in a family's life story. It's really cool. It really is. So I do enjoy it. I know some coaches can't stand it, and there are times where it becomes monotonous or it becomes kind of a headache. But for the most part, I do enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I got one more question for you, and obviously this is an easy answer for you, but I really want you to probably go in a little depth on it. Who you got for this up and coming Week 1 NFL matchup, Miami or Patriots? How you liking both teams?
I'm probably the worst person to ask this question to in this entire industry. And here's why I say that. And it's funny because I just had this discussion with guys in our staff and my players a couple of days ago. I am not a huge, I shouldn't say not a huge sport. I am a huge sports fan. I am not a huge NFL football fan. Here's why. Number one, I miss almost the entire season because we work all day Sunday.
Oh, right.
You're grading, you're game planning, you're meeting players, you're whatever, right? You know what I mean? So I literally don't watch any NFL football on Sunday, right? During the season. And then when our season is done, usually Sundays you're recruiting, you're on a recruiting visit, you're on a home visit or whatever. So I really never got a chance to watch any of it.
Wow.
So I don't even know who the hell's playing for any team most time until like the playoffs. I'm like, oh, so-and-so's playing for so-and-so now? Like, I don't even know.
Wow.
So I mean, I know Tua is one quarterback. I know Mac Jones is at New England.
Yeah.
I don't know how the preseason went. I don't know who else they got. I couldn't. So I'm like the worst person. I'm literally like we have a new student assistant on our staff who's like he's a freshman in college. He's all fired up. He's happy to be working in college football. He's a huge football fan. He's working on his desk on Sunday. Has NFL Red Zone on his laptop or his iPad. He's like watching 8 games at one time, and I'm like, dude, like the last thing I want to do if I have like an hour off to myself on a Sunday, or whatever, or any day for that matter, is watch football.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and especially being in South Florida where there's so much to do year round.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't involve being in front of a TV watching football.
Yeah. That makes sense.
We do want to thank FIU for Jonnu Smith.
Yes.
He's pretty good. Yes. He's pretty good. I got a chance to meet him actually this summer. He's a great guy. I mean, a really, really first-class person. I enjoyed meeting him this summer. So I think he has like a nephew or something who's like a high school junior who came to camp or something or whatever, and a great guy.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Wow. We got to look out for another one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But just winding down, do you have any advice for any kids looking to get into a collegiate program such as FIU, or just in general?
As a player, saying?
As a player, or just in general.
Yeah. I think as a player, in the recruiting process, maybe I guess one of the things that I think people on the players or the recruits part of the side have kind of forgotten or de-emphasized, but we haven't as college coaches, is what your high school coach says about you. We don't really care what your 7-on-7 coach says, because you pretty much, that guy's on the payroll usually. You know what I mean? We don't really care what your trainer says, because you're paying that guy to say something really nice about you, right? You're paying him to train you, right? We don't care about what your there's a lot. Now there are sometimes
oof.
Another one.
Can you hear us, Coach?
That's all right. We might have to switch from this platform to a different one.
Eventually. Yeah, because this is the second week in a row. This is not It's not our guest's fault. We understand.
Definitely not. It's technology in general.
Yeah.
He'll be back on because I got one last thing I want to leave him with.
But yeah, so far so good. I'm enjoying it. I'm learning a lot. About
there you go. You take it right down, especially being a coach yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like it's definitely growth for you.
Oh man, definitely. Especially if I eventually want to get to that next level in the collegiate field. Man, that takes a lot of work. I mean, I can't imagine how many hours he sleeps. And we didn't
at this point, I don't think he does.
Yeah,
I think we took part of his Thursday night away from him.
and I didn't even get a chance to ask him if he has a family himself. If he has kids and a wife. To see if he has time for that. Maybe I'll ask him when he gets back on here. But man,
he just texted me. He said his Wi-Fi crapped out.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
that's okay.
It's understandable. It's not his fault. Things happen. I was going to go ahead and pretty much just say beat Texas State, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see this Texas Tech game, because my old quarterback over at Oregon, Tyler Shook, is down there right now.
Yeah.
He didn't really fit with our system, but hey, I think FIU is a team to watch out for, especially in the Conference USA.
Yes.
I like these smaller conferences, and I definitely like MAC football. These smaller conferences are definitely, I think I've said it before, the smaller conferences, you find these guys that are
hungry,
and they want to get to that next level, and it shows. And FIU just beat the crap out of Long Island 48-10 last week. So hey, Texas State's going to be tough for them.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think they can get it done. They can get it done.
And they're looking ahead to that Texas Tech team.
Yeah, Thank you,
Anyways.
Coach Joel Rodriguez. We appreciate you for coming on.
We do. You gotta make those. You gotta make those shirts.
Yes,
work it
make
up.
those shirts. Make those
Work
shirts.
it up.
And hopefully you come back on.
Yeah, it was definitely great. And like we said before we brought him on, that's the first time that I think since we had JP on, we had an actual coach.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful. We've done so many interviews with the athletes and not really spent much time with the coaches.
Exactly.
And for those of you that are watching now, please head over to Instagram, follow Charles. Know the coach.
Yes.
Okay. He's on. He's moving on to episode 3.
Episode 3. And that's a great platform for our coaches to come on and tell their stories, just like we had Coach Joel Rodriguez on. Just getting to know more of the coach. A lot of people don't really ask about what the coaches go through or their personal lives. It's been about the players, but rightfully so. I'm all about players, but let's hear some stories about the coaches. So please follow Know the Coach on IG.
I didn't mean to steal your thunder. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Hey, we do this together, man. We family, Yep.
Yeah, he just texted me back. He said he had a lot of fun. Hey, Coach, if you're watching, you're welcome to come on here anytime.
Anytime.
And if you're listening, beat Texas State. Kick the living shit out of Texas Tech, please.
Yes.
Please. Show them what these Conference USA boys are made out of.
Let's go.
Just looking back at week 1.
I'm ready. Week 2 is let's look at. I got some games I written down, and this is gonna be
Penn State, Wisconsin. That was I was listening to it on the radio, and I'm like, neither team has scored at halftime.
Yeah,
it's mind blowing. And then Penn State pulled the upset. Another upset was UCLA.
Yeah, that was a big
LSU.
Yeah.
And
who'd you have in that game?
I had UCLA.
Yeah, I had UCLA
because UCLA. I mean, LSU, they've kind of fallen far from when they had Joe Burrow. From that championship team that they have. I mean, Coach O is he's a beast, and that's one person. I mean, I think I saw somewhere he eats like 100 pounds of crawfish.
That's the key right there. That's the key.
You got to eat. I mean, you're from Louisiana. You got to eat those crawfish.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of them.
Right.
Hey, I'll eat them.
Yeah.
I'll try them. I'll try anything. Like I said, I'll try anything once.
Yeah. But, I want to ask you a question, man. How did you really feel? Again, I know you're happy with the results with your Ducks, but what were your emotions like throughout the game in the beginning? Because I kind of understood, it's the first game. Honestly, I felt like they could have, if they had, if this was like week 3, they would have blew them out by 40, But
I mean,
really
it's also, the transition between, you get Anthony Brown quarterback right now.
Yeah.
Anthony Brown, like I said before, I followed him from BC, and he sat out last year. And he got in the Rose Bowl and the PlayStation Bowl. And he got in PlayStation Bowl. I think that's what he was playing in. And the Pac-12 championship. He got in towards the end of the game, but he scored 4 touchdowns combined in those games. He was also playing under Tyler Shook, who's down at Texas A&M right now. And I think it's week 1, and that's why you usually see easy layup teams, week 1. Fresno's no joke.
Yeah, they're no
honestly.
Joke. Yeah.
And like I said offline, I got a friend who's a Notre Dame fan. He was like, you guys almost lost to Fresno. Listen, buddy, you almost lost to Florida State. All right, that game went to overtime.
Overtime, right?
And you guys almost lost.
Yeah. But I feel like they needed that. They needed that type of atmosphere and that that close of a game just to get the cobwebs out. And they're gonna blow out Ohio State.
I'm telling you, that's kind of where I'm leaning. But Dorian Thompson-Robinson, UCLA quarterback, phenomenal, and he's gonna thrive. I think I underplayed a little bit Bryce Young because freshman quarterback, Alabama, but Alabama's the 33rd team in the NFL. I hate Alabama. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, Bryce Young. I think he was just like toying with that Miami.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Absolutely toying him
with ease.
But
what was his numbers again? It was like what?
He had like through like half. He had like 4 touchdowns for 300 and something, 4 something yards. Like, bro, come on, like just
and that defense, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man, Alabama, man. I'm telling you. They're always my favorite because I call them the New England Patriots of college football. They just get it done. I don't know if you said it. Maybe just add them as an NFL team and see how it goes.
Drop the Jets or Jacksonville. Okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
Right there. Put it right there.
Yeah, you got week 2 coming up. We have what's the score right now in this Patriots game? We got Patriots, yeah. Tampa, Cowboys. Tampa's winning 21-16 third quarter.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a lot closer than I thought it would be.
Well, Dak's playing well from what I was seeing earlier. He's playing a little well. What's his numbers looking like?
Right now he is. Let me just pop up the box score. He is 27 out of 37, and he's thrown for 265 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That defense is not stepping up. Okay.
Hey, it's a good thing I didn't play this Bucs defense. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on my fantasy team, and I also have Green Bay. And I decided to go ahead and
go with Green Bay.
Tampa sit on the bench because
they get in their range.
You don't know what you're gonna get from Dak coming back. Zeke,
Cooper, Lamb. Oh my gosh, they got Cowboys. Hey, if they get it right, they'll be all right in their division. They should win that division. So
I hope so.
Yeah, they should win that division.
When was the last time the Dallas Cowboys have been relevant?
Oh, man. And you know what's like? I've been really hoping they get far. When Brady was with the Patriots, I was like, man, I would love to see Cowboys versus Patriots in the Super Bowl because of, Cowboys is supposed to be the American team, America's team, but it's obviously the Patriots. Well, before Brady left, it was the Patriots, but now, they just slipped a little bit. But who knows? Maybe if Dak stays healthy, they'll pick it up. But I'm looking forward to week 1. In NFL, man. I got a couple games lined up. Browns versus Chiefs, man. I feel like the Browns, man, they're ready. They're ready with that defense. And Patrick Mahomes, that offensive line, man. Again, with Coach JRod Rodriguez, I wanted to ask him how important is the offensive line, and you see it. The Chiefs have stepped up in that market with protecting Patrick Mahomes because Super Bowl he was just running and running, and that's going to be a great game. I got the Chiefs winning that game. But it's going to be close because the Browns do play defense. They added a lot of pieces to that puzzle. OBJ, he's back. So with Landry on the opposite side, they got Kareem Hunt. They're just all over the place. Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, but what are you really going to get out of Odell coming back?
I know.
This is why I hate injuries when it comes to this stuff. You don't know what the player is going to be like when they come back.
Especially at the wide receiver position. You never know. You never. And then there's been some injuries with the Ravens that just happened. Peters I think they tore his ACL, cornerback for the Ravens. So now that adds out another element to, my Patriots maybe stepping up, because if that Ravens defense is not where it's at, Lamar Jackson, I'll let him try to beat us as much as he can. But a lot of games, the Steelers versus Bills, I don't know because both teams are very
don't even think about that. You don't even know. The Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah, Juju's back. Juju's back, but Juju's not really back. I mean, he dyed his hair blonde. He's still doing his TikToks and his dance. Like,
I don't get it. But let's see what the Bills can do. because a lot of people talking about the Bills. They're playing against the Steelers. They play tough still. They still play tough.
Bills
so
are going to
we'll
the Super Bowl.
Oh, man, I don't know how you say that with confidence. You're not scared of Patrick Mahomes?
No.
You're not scared of him?
Were you a Bucs fan this past year?
No.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I was going for Patrick Mahomes.
I was, and I was not afraid of Pat Mahomes. All right.
Well, now with the protective line, I'm telling you, he might throw 60 touchdowns this year. You never know. That's
he's gonna have a lot of rushing yards, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, but it's exciting in the NFL, man. College football's week 2 of college football. Just the energy around sports, man. It's just I feel good. I really do.
Definitely is. Let's see. You want to take a break and we'll come back and we'll hit the NCAA and football, the NFL, and then we'll go ahead and.
I got some Ben Simmons hot takes real quick. Ben Simmons hot take. Yeah,
I think.
But you got one too.
I think I have one.
Actually, let's go to your hot take. I'll keep mine.
I have one. Okay, I have one, and with that, I'm gonna go ahead and leave you with that one. All right, here it is. Sunday, N'Keal Harry decided to post on Instagram, Uno. N'Keal Harry, what are you doing? First of all, you requested a trade. Nobody wanted your bum ass because you suck, okay? You suck. Waste of a first-round pick. Probably can't even get a 5th or a 6th at this point. Second of all, you waited, less than a week to go ahead and claim Cam Newton's number? I don't like Cam Newton. That's a different story. You stole Cam Newton's number. You stole number 1. You put it up on Instagram. You're going to be riding the bench this season. You can't get traded. You can't catch a ball. Tom Brady shut you off. If you get shut off by the greatest quarterback of all time, you do not deserve to be there requesting trades. You don't even deserve to sit on the bench, okay? You couldn't even get back to Arizona. You couldn't get out there. They didn't want you. And you're putting all the blame on, it was my agent. It was my agent. I get it. I wouldn't say this to your face because you're a lot bigger and stronger than me, and you probably beat the shit out of me. But, hey, I don't care. I'm a fan. You suck. That's all I got.
Let's see how this goes because let's take the options, man. Like who's he behind? He's behind a lot of people, receivers.
Malcolm Perry.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and N'Keal Harry. I agree with what you're saying. I wouldn't go so far saying he sucks because I feel like everybody in the NFL is talented. He just can't stay on the field for a particular reason. He can't run routes for a particular reason. I think he's probably in his head a lot. And when he did say his agent is the reason, hey man, these agents are tricky.
You pay your agent.
That's very true too, and you should know them.
Your agent doesn't go out there and shout out his own words.
Yeah. So
pretty sure your agent is just some lawyer out in Arizona who's some. I don't know, probably a real estate lawyer or something. Like, does he have any business in the NFL or is sports agency industry?
But maybe,
Other aspects,
but maybe
sports agent industry. Let's go ahead. Let's
we
try
get
to
a
get
sports
something
agent.
from a sports
I would love that.
aspect.
That'd be a great episode. That'd be a great one. But let's see. Maybe he got the number 1 jersey. Got Cam's old number. And maybe Cam will start. We'll mention that in his
Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday. Funky Friday. I'm very excited for that. When he posted that, I was like laughing the whole time because I'm just like this. And I said this exact same. I said this. This is what the NFL is doing to Cam Newton. They're pushing him away. So now what? He has is it a podcast or a show?
No, it's Instagram. It's Instagram TV. And he just, I don't know if he goes live. I don't think he goes live. I think he just records it, edits it, and then posts it on IGTV or whatever it is.
But you know what? A part of me, not even a part of me, when I watched that clip, I was just like, Cam, really? Come on, man. Don't do this, because the moment you bash Bill Belichick and you're done. You're done. You're done. Just wait, stay in good shape. And wait for a team to call you, man. Don't do this, Cam Newton. Please. I am one of your supporters. I'm on the record saying I thought you were gonna win the MVP. And Bill Belichick probably heard this and like, watch this, Charles. He's done. Again, so it's just like, Cam Newton, I don't want to see you do this.
Most valuable place taker. Place taker.
Man. And I'm hoping he gets back in the NFL, but this probably can tarnish his chances in the NFL, because now you're going on IG and you're possibly about to talk about your experience and your time at New England. If you're going to do this, make sure it's positive, because if you're doing this and it's a negative light on Bill Belichick, this can probably end Cam Newton's career. And it sucks because Cam Newton, that's tough.
He's going to get hit with that Scarface.
You guys been telling me this, man, and I'm starting to, I don't know, man. I just hope he gets focused. I'm nervous for him. I'm nervous for tomorrow. I'm hoping Funky Friday, he's just joking. He's like, I made you look.
I don't know. The last couple of Funky Fridays, he was talking about chocolate chip cookies. And
wait, was he really?
Yeah, he was getting his hair cut.
But this one, he said, he looking in the camera, said, I got a lot to say, but this is not a retirement speech. I'm like, oh man, Cam Newton.
Well, it's definitely not a sign-in speech. That's for sure.
You never know, though. You never know. He's
going to sign with an arena football league. Or he's going to go start
please
Australian football league.
Come on, Dad. Come on, can you give Cam Newton? He's one of the greats of all time. One of the greats of in his generation.
His generation.
He changed the game.
He did. I mean, he did. I just kind of have a hair across my ass because Cam Newton and the Auburn Tigers beat my Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, I know.
2011.
Oh, so this is where it all started.
No.
Oh, okay.
Cam sucks. Be real. Be real. I don't want to have this discussion.
I know. Okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
Cam sucks.
Nikhil Harry.
Nikhil Harry. He's following in the wrong footsteps. That's for sure. Oh my god. I don't even know. Moving forward to Saturday.
Yes.
Who you liking? Why you liking them?
So I got some teams lined up, some teams circled.
Are we going based off of our ESPN picks?
So who's in first place right now?
It's actually tied. Okay.
It's actually 6-4. We're both 6-4, right?
We're both 6-4. I'm gonna pull it up right now. College pick'em. And listen, if you guys want to get in this league, I'll post a link.
Yeah.
We can just go from week 2 or even week 3 on. See if you do better than us. Let's see. Week 1, I had who did I have? I had Penn State. I had Oklahoma.
Yep.
Alabama, obviously. Iowa.
Okay.
I took West Virginia, and they freaking got trounced by Maryland.
Yeah.
And then I took the Raging Cajuns because ULL is a very, they're just a different breed of football.
Right.
And I mean, you don't know what you're going to get at Texas. Texas, they've been irrelevant for a while also.
Yes.
And of course, I took Houston, and Houston was actually, I think they were up that game against Texas Tech. I think they were up. I took Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, I did take LSU.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you did?
I did take LSU. And then I took BYU. Charles, on the other hand, I think we disagreed on a couple.
Just a couple, right?
Charles had Wisconsin. They
Yep.
lost.
They did.
Oklahoma. They won.
Yeah,
Alabama.
they
They won. Iowa. They won. You took West Virginia too.
I did.
But
yeah.
you took Texas over the Raging Cajuns. You took Texas Tech over Houston. You took Clemson. You took the cheese. We both agreed on LSU.
Clemson, man.
We both agreed on BYU.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to see, let's see, week 2 is, you haven't even picked yet. I can't see what you picked. I don't think so. I put mine in already. I got Oregon over Ohio State.
Oh, yeah. I did pick. I got Tennessee over Pitt. I got Florida over South Florida. I got Texas A&M over Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
I got Iowa over Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
I got Texas over Arkansas. I got Mississippi State over NC State. I got the Michigan Wolverines over Washington. Utah over BYU. I don't know about that one. I'm just I know. I don't know. I might have to. I don't know. I got USC over Stanford.
Ooh. I disagreed with you on, I think only 2.
Okay.
I picked Washington over Michigan.
Okay.
Mainly because Washington just lost to Montana.
Okay.
And that was a very bad upset.
Mm-hmm.
I expect a bounce back game.
But it's
coming. I know it is. But Michigan, they beat Western Michigan in their home opener.
Right.
It's expected.
Right.
Western Michigan. I think what we're going to see coming up against this Washington team, it's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be a bounce back game. Washington's going to come back and win it because they got embarrassed by Montana.
Yeah. But that home crowd in Michigan, can they step it up? Even though it's not the same Michigan for years now, but we'll see. I mean, yes, are they going to come back with better? Yeah, but Michigan, man, they're at home. If this was reversed, if Michigan was going there, I will agree with you. But I just don't see Michigan losing at home this week.
I think that's one of the only ones we disagree on.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, I might switch it. I might go Oregon taking this loss.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I put my pride, my fandom before any stats. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Oregon's going to go ahead and run the table and go undefeated. How about that? I think that every year never happens. But with the injury to Kayvon Thibodeau, it kind of scares me. Kind of scares me. Is he going to be nervous to get back out there? Is he going to be fully healthy? But at the same time, you have Mace Funa and you have Noah Sewell.
But this is a big game. This is a big number 3, Ohio State. Man, let's see what they can do, man. But this is a bigger game for Oregon because, man, I think this is a proven game because I don't know what the odds are right now. Even on here saying 91% is picking.
I know, but at the same time, you have to look at Ohio State. They barely hung on to beat Minnesota. I'm pretty sure Minnesota they were winning at half, and Ohio State just came out of the locker room a different team.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud he was okay. I think he had 3 or 4 touchdowns that game, and I think he only had one interception. The one person you got to watch out for is Chris Olave. Chris Olave.
Oh yeah. And I feel if Oregon pulls this off, because the reason why I say pull off, because I'm still going back and forth with this because I love Oregon. I love what they bring to the table. I know I love what they bring to the table. And they did impress me even through that close game in the beginning of last week, but this is a away game. Let's see how this goes, man. I mean, Ohio State's going to be tough. You know, that crowd's going to be
college
rocking.
football fans are back.
Yeah, come on, Spencer Webbs. Let's see what we do. Let's see how we do. You know what I mean? But you know, I think Oregon's gonna pull it off. I'm gonna stick with my pick. Yeah,
I like it.
I'm gonna stick with my pick.
Tampa just took a commanding lead, 27-19.
I feel like nobody's watching this game.
Well, I mean, it's Thursday night football, but it is the season opener.
Yeah, but the Cowboys, they didn't deserve this.
Definitely not.
They should have played the Giants on the Thursday night.
No, you have to have something interesting on. I mean, once we get further into the season, you're going to have these Monday night, Thursday night games.
Yeah.
Absolute snooze fest.
Hey, let's give a round of applause for BC going 2-0 because they're playing against UMass this week. So let's go. Hey, they were impressive last week. They were.
You know what's funny? I said the gambling line was, it opened at like 50 and a half in favor of BC to win. Yeah. And the over-under was at 52. And the 52 stayed. BC put up a 52 burger against them.
Great. How do people just leave that stadium after that ass whooping and that?
You know what's funny? Somebody said, or it was on Instagram. Somebody put a picture of one of the Colgate players, and he was number 0, and he had all this eye black on. And somebody said, "This dude from Colgate really went through all that to get blown out 50."
And you know Colgate was ready. They were so amped, listen, the stuff that we could hear of Xavier's interview, he was not lying. They are ready to go.
I told you, I saw them driving. I'm pretty, because they stay in the hotel.
Yeah.
And then they travel down Comm Ave, and they drive right past my office. They drive past right where I work. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at them. I'm like, I feel bad. These guys are driving to their own funeral. You know? But hey, they're going to the zoo this week.
Yeah.
And the zoo has been named the best fan atmosphere in Massachusetts. But I mean, at the same time, you only get 2 teams.
Right. That crowd was rocking in BC. Yeah. That crowd was rocking.
You'll slowly start to see. That's the thing. Once the NFL comes full tilt, everybody puts BC to the wayside. I love college football. I'd rather watch college football because, just for the same reasons Coach Joel just said, hey, these kids are playing, and who knows what the other side is going to have for them.
Yeah.
And they're playing harder, tougher than, hey, he doesn't even watch the NFL. And,
I know.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
But I can't. Because these guys are all crybabies. But hey, moving on to our NFL picks.
Yeah.
Walking into week 1, I picked Tampa, obviously, and rightfully so. They are the defending Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
And that being said, they're winning, obviously.
Yeah.
Who you got? Philadelphia or Atlanta?
Atlanta.
And I don't know.
What is Philly doing? What is Philly doing?
I picked Philly. And I kind of regret it, but I kind of don't at the same time. Mainly because of what the Patriots did to Philadelphia in the preseason, but then again, that's preseason.
Yeah, that's true.
There's something about this Philadelphia Eagles team. There's something, and I don't know whether it's the quarterback situation, and they just got Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, start him. Might as well.
Yeah, but I mean, come on,
Hurts, Jalen Hurts. Hurts is.
Yeah. You have him ready. You have him ready.
Yeah,
and I was high on him last year. Once, of course, Carson Wentz got injured. I was high on him to come in because I believe it or not, when he was playing college, I was high on him then.
Right.
And I'm not that keen on Alabama quarterbacks. as you know.
Right. They're starting to prove you wrong, though.
Work ethic and all this other crap come into play.
Yeah.
My main concern with this Eagles team is, what are you going to get out of Zach Ertz?
I feel like I thought he was going to get traded this offseason, but I don't know. I thought the Patriots were going to look at him.
Yeah, and at the same time, what are you going to see out of Devontae Smith?
I know. I mean, but you know what intrigues me about Atlanta? Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan. Yeah, listen, he has something to prove.
Do you have something with terrible quarterbacks?
No, he's not a terrible. He's one of he's all right. He's one of the Atlanta greats. He's one of the Falcon greats. He took him to. He could have had that one ring.
He's a BC Eagle great too.
That's
all right.
He has something to prove. His main target is gone, Julio Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's see what can happen. Hopefully, Ridley can step it up and take that role. But I like the Falcons. I mean, they're gonna be crap this year, but like week 1 in Atlanta, man, it's gonna be crazy. So. The battle of the birds, man. I'm going with the Falcons, man. Just I'll be worried if they're up 28-3, and then something can go crazy. But
we touched on this a little bit. The Bills and the Steelers.
Yeah. Did I pick?
I think you started saying something about the Steelers, and I kind of shut you off saying
you
that.
Did. I got the Steelers upsetting the Bills.
No.
Part of it because I don't want the Bills to win the division, but I got the Steelers winning. I got the Steelers winning.
I do not. Josh Allen, he's hungry for it. He's hungry for it. He was this close last season, this close, and he's coming for it.
We'll see. Just don't lose this week 1 because if Patriots win and Bills lose.
I don't know. We're gonna get to that.
Well, don't tell me. Oh man, I don't like how you said that.
Vikings Bengals. What are we gonna get? Joe Burrow coming back.
He had an impressive rookie season. He's tough.
He learned how to slide.
He learned how to slide, but he has that grit, and you notice the team gravitated to him, and a couple of his teammates actually complimented him on how his leadership at that young age is impressive. I got the Bengals, man, and with that defense that they have over there, that young defense, I think the Bengals can pull this off, and I think honestly, the Vikings, man, they're not really. I mean, I don't believe in Cousins anymore, but it's just we'll see how it goes, man. With that,
hey, I believe that I am on the same side as you.
Yeah,
I got the Bengals because Joe Burrow coming back healthy.
Yeah,
you got Jamar Chase. You have T. Higgins, who's going to have a nasty year. Joe Mixon, you're going to have a complete team this year. Joe Burrow, just stay healthy. Odell, forget about him.
Yeah. Hey, Cinderella team?
No.
In AFC?
No.
Moving
on. 49ers, Lions. That's
who's watching that?
I don't think the Lions will win a single game.
Oh, might go 0-16 again. Didn't they go 0-16 before? Or something like that.
They've had. I mean, clearly they didn't do as bad as Jacksonville or the Jets last season.
Right.
New head coach Dan Campbell.
Yeah. How many head coaches are you gonna have, man? I just don't get it.
Hey, we took Matt Patricia back. That's all that matters.
Yeah, but the fact that he thought he was Bill Belichick.
I got the 49ers.
49ers
by at least 25.
Right.
Titans, Cardinals.
Oh, Titans. Cardinals, they didn't really impress me this preseason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I thought their defense was going to be better. But again, who knows? We'll see how they do. But they're playing against a Titans team that is hungry too. So let's see what who's going to run over this week. I mean, JJ Watt. I mean, he's old though. He's old right now. But
his brother TJ is a force to be reckoned with, though.
Yeah. So we'll see what the Titans do. I mean, and I feel like the Titans should win this game because this is like a preseason game for them. Another preseason.
This is definitely Mike Vrabel's make or break. this season.
Brady's calling him fat on Instagram and or interviews and stuff.
A man was a linebacker. What do you expect?
Brady's been talking a lot of shit.
Mike Vrabel is not fat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's been popping some shit.
Yeah, he has. And I mean, he's on his high horse now, and like you said, the muzzle is off, and he's ready to fight. Seahawks, Colts.
Oh, Seahawks.
Absolutely. You don't know who's starting quarterback for the Colts. You had my high hope, Sam Ehlinger. He got injured.
Oh,
you can't go to Jacob Eason.
Nope.
Carson Wentz. He was on the COVID list, but I don't know where that stands now. But yeah, he was on the COVID list. The Colts are just the Colts are the Colts.
Who's guarding DJ Metcalf? They might call you up, Dan.
No. Sorry. I took my Chargers jersey down. I was going to wear it.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Chargers, Washington.
Chargers all the way. They're going to come out like some young, hungry mother. You know what? Because I mean, last year they didn't really, but they showed a lot last year too.
They did, and also, that was Justin Herbert's first year.
Exactly.
Just him being the rookie of the year.
Right.
Headed into this season, people are calling a sophomore slump. I am not. I have him QB1 on one of my fantasy teams.
One of the best arms in the game, you think?
Oh, for sure. He can run. He can throw.
Yep.
And he looks good doing it with those long, luscious, blonde locks, baby.
So I'm assuming you're picking the Chargers.
Without a doubt, I'll be rocking my Chargers jersey on Sunday instead of my Patriots jersey. Actually, no, I'll be rocking my Chargers jersey, and then by the time Patriot kickoff, maybe I'll throw on the Terry Glenn, maybe I'll throw on the old Tom Brady. Who knows? But Panthers, Jets.
See, this one's tricky because both organizations are crap. So I'm gonna go pick the Jets. I like the young QB out there. Let's see what he does.
Zach Wilson has been looking really good preseason. He's been looking really good, and
he's showing a lot of leadership skills too. But the Jets,
the same time, it's the Jets.
I know. But let's see. They're gonna have to rely on their defense, and I think I like the Jets in this one because Panthers, I don't know what they're doing.
And listen, for those of you that are in any type of fantasy football league, he is probably. I'm going to call him a sleeper because he is a sleeper. I watched him when he was playing in Mississippi. Elijah Moore. Guarantee you he's available. I'm sorry, Charles. I already have him. Elijah Moore is going to be your sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's only 45% rostered, fantasy football-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But the man is ready. He's hungry. Zach Wilson, young quarterback. Elijah Moore, young wide receiver.
Let's see what they do.
There's only so much some of these other guys can do, but we'll see. It's week one. Anything can happen. Literally anything.
Right.
And that's why I'm so concerned. I'm so happy I didn't play the Bucs defense tonight because it is now.
What's the score?
It is now 28-26.
Oh, this is about to be. Well, how many minutes left?
There's 30 seconds in the third.
It's
Dallas.
close.
Dallas has the ball.
Ooh. Oh man, I can't wait. If Dallas wins, I watch Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. Skip Bayless is gonna go crazy. Y'all shit.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. It's Tom Brady. You can't.
Let's see what your guy number 12 does. Let's see what
count Brady out.
Let's see what your guy does. Yeah.
Jacksonville, Houston.
Oh, Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence.
The young kid versus the old man, JRod. What are you going to see out of him? Is he completely 100% healthy?
I don't know, man. That was a bad, what was the end of his doctor's?
He got his lung punctured by putting steroid or some anti-inflammatory drug.
Crazy,
a doctor out of all people. You make millions of dollars a year. You puncture $1 million quarterback's lung.
And that first hit is going to be. I'm pretty sure he's been. I don't know if they've been really touching him up.
Oh, they have to.
They have to. So I mean, he's used to getting.
He's got to be padded up. He's probably wearing an extra rib protector.
Yeah. So I mean, he's been good. He was good. He was good. In previous years. Like I've always been a huge fan of his. But like I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna come. The team seems that they're really engaged with Trevor Lawrence. I think he lost a bet. He was wearing like the Georgia outfits. I saw. So
he was at the Georgia Clemson game.
Yeah. So and obviously Clemson lost. So Trevor Lawrence is I like how the team is embracing him, especially as a rookie. We'll see how it goes.
I'm just concerned about Urban Meyer, head coach.
I know, man.
But I can't pick the Texans because Houston is just hot garbage.
Garbage.
You lost everybody. Deshaun Watson's sitting on the bench. He's not going to play a single snap this season. They already came out and said it.
Yep.
Urban Meyer can't keep his mouth shut for the Jags. He can't keep his mouth shut. He made a little slip up and said, what did he say? He said something about players that aren't fully vaccinated.
It's kind of honest.
Yeah. I mean, and it's true. It's true. I mean, but it brought up a huge dispute with the NFL Players Association.
Mm-hmm. Well, was that the same reason why Tim Tebow, or he was just
no, Tim Tebow sucked. I'm sorry. I hyped Tebow up, but Tebow was just he couldn't set a block. He couldn't catch the ball. Like, just go back college football Saturdays.
Hey, Jake Paul challenged him in a fight, so let's see if he goes there.
Jake Paul, challenge a real boxer, will you?
Thank you, please.
Like, and don't have your little brother go ahead and say, "Oh, I fought Floyd Mayweather and I knocked him out."
No, you got
exactly. Anyways, we touched on it. Chiefs, Browns.
Yeah, we did. Yep.
Now this is the real one. Miami, New England.
I want to hear what you say. You already know where I'm going.
It is split.
What do you mean it's
down
split?
the middle? I'm looking at it right here on the pick'em that we're looking at. It's split. 50% people picked Miami. 50%
because
New England.
people are crazy. This is in New England. Number one, it's gonna be a nice day out. I saw the weather. It's gonna be like 77 degrees, sunny. Mac Jones is coming to town. I mean, he's here. That defense is back. You can't tell me you haven't been impressed with the Patriots this preseason. The defense is top notch. Top notch.
I have. I'm just. I don't know. I'm torn. I mean, me being a Patriots fan, me hating the Dolphins. I don't know. Really? I want to know who you're taking first.
You already know who I'm taking. Patriots.
Oh, you're taking the Dolphins.
No, Patriots.
I don't know, man.
You trust Tua?
That's the thing. I don't. And I don't trust Mac Jones either. Even though I hear it every single day, Mac Jones is teaching so-and-so the playbook. I'm not going to say names. And he's just one of those quarterbacks. One of those.
I don't believe in that story. See, that's another.
I believe in. I believe in Rob Ninkovich. I do. I believe Mac looked real good in the preseason. He looks real good reading a defense without.
Come on, him and his girlfriend they do that at night. They study plays with him.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Come on, Matt Jones is ready.
No. Miami is going to beat the New England Patriots.
You got to give me a score.
Miami defense.
Okay, I'll give you that.
They're very good.
Mac Jones hasn't seen a defense like this in preseason.
He hasn't. And the only thing, like I said, that concerns me is Tua. But at the same time, Tua goes into his own head and gets injured again. You're going to have Jacoby Brissett coming in. Take that for what you will. I think this game is going to be close. I see it a 26-25 to 22-23 game in favor of Miami.
Too much credit. You're giving too much credit. Actually, 23-22, that's mostly defense because now you're probably talking how many interceptions do you think Mac Jones is going to throw, or fumbles, or?
I think Mac's only going to throw for maybe one interception. I think Tua's going to have more of the mental mistakes, but that 1 or 2 interceptions that Mac's going to throw, it's going to cost him.
We're looking at young Tom Brady in the making, man. Mac Jones is going to look.
Don't say it.
Yes, you know I'm going to say it. Listen, if Brady loses this game tonight, which he could possibly do, and Patriots look like the dominant force that they're going to show the Bucks when they come here. Oh, man. Number 10. Number 10 is in the building, Dan. Number 10. Ooh, I know you're nervous.
Not at all. Listen, this brings me back to my point of Alabama quarterbacks. Can't trust them. Tampa just got the ball back. Fourth quarter is now starting. 28-26.
We got Brian Hoyer, though, just in case.
I'm good. Green Bay, New Orleans.
I'm
Without
going
a doubt, Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay. I mean, Jamie Winston, he had an impressive preseason, but you're going against that bad man. And
if you even have to think about this game,
yeah, I know.
Stop watching football.
Green Bay.
Now, this one is going to be pretty close. The Broncos versus the Giants.
Oh, Broncos, because that defense. They have an impressive defense. Not so sure about the offense. The quarterback, to me, is not really. I don't know. I feel like Cam should be involved in talks with them, but I don't know. But I like the Broncos winning. Probably by a lot.
Teddy Bridgewater, they're looking at him.
Yeah.
They like whatever it is in him.
Yeah,
he did look good in preseason, but that still comes back down to preseason.
I don't think they've confirmed who Week 1 starter is. Right? They haven't done it yet.
They're gonna go. They're gonna for Denver.
Yeah,
they're gonna go Teddy.
They're gonna go Teddy. Yeah, they're going to Teddy.
But I think this may be a turnaround season for the Giants.
Come on, you serious?
Saquon is healthy.
Can he stay healthy? He can get knocked out to Week 1, and that's not no shade at him because I think he's a great running back. But that's been his MO since he's got in the league.
I know.
It's tough, man.
That's the only thing that's it's when Saquon's healthy.
I know. No one can stop him.
Saquon is Saquon,
but it's tough to see him in the summertime going hard in the workouts, and then Week 1 comes, he's out for the season. It's like, come on, man.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones is your quarterback.
Who you like, Daniel Jones or Mac Jones?
Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones. 281-330-8004. Hit Mike Jones up on the low because Mike Jones is about to blow.
Hey.
Come on, that used to be my ringtone. The Giants are going to beat the Broncos.
Okay, I'll give you that.
All right, we're going to wrap it up real quick. We're not even going to touch MLB because the MLB is just a snooze fest.
Red Sox looking good, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they avoided getting swept by the Rays, but at the same time,
they're still giving up 20 points a game. So
Rams, Bears.
This one's going to be tricky.
No, it's not.
But I like the Rams because it's in LA. Matt Stafford, Aaron Donald's in the building. That offense and defense just gonna flow. We got Shoney Michelle, but he's a former Patriot in there.
I like the way you're just flowing. We should come up with you got to come up with a rap.
Hey, I got some bars.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna record this. I'm gonna speed it up, and I'm gonna add a track to it.
But yeah, Rams all the way. All the way. They're gonna be
Bears are just. It's the Bears.
Yeah, it's the Bears.
Every time I pick the Bears, they always just kick me in the nuts. So
yeah,
I'm done with the Bears. Finally, Raiders, Ravens.
Raiders because of what I just said with the Ravens losing Marcus Peters.
Gus Edwards. They just lost Gus Edwards
at the same time. Yeah. So Lamar Jackson, you're going to be running again all season. Sorry. And it's either you or the team loses. So, sorry, your defense is
Listen, Lamar, please have a talk with this Louisville team, please. Have a talk with the Louisville team because they're just ripping my heart out.
Yeah.
Every single time I root for them. They just
I love their jerseys, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I love their jerseys.
And anybody who picks the Raiders, I don't know.
You just pick them because you feel sorry for them. That's fine.
No, the Ravens they're going to be a great team this year. And once they get my guy Jacob Breland healthy and up to speed.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a whole nother ball game.
It is.
Anyways, you got anything else? I know we're running super late.
I know we're running late.
Almost 2 hours, but
hey, great EP. Thank you, Coach JRod Rodriguez, for that amazing interview. And I'm excited. Let's get these games out the way this weekend. I'm ready
for sure. We got to link up with him again.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe do something. He was definitely a great guest to have on, and it was definitely a different pace.
Yeah.
Getting it from the coach's angle. Like I said, I'm sorry to steal your thunder, Charles. But everybody, I'll say it again. Follow Know the Coach on Instagram.
Yes, please.
He's had 2 amazing guests so far, 2 amazing coaches.
Thank
and
you.
They don't just talk X's and O's, they talk on and off the court.
Yeah.
But definitely be on the lookout. Next week, I think I did this last week. I got nothing.
Yeah, I got none. Hey,
I got nothing.
Keep tuning in, everybody. We appreciate the support.
And hey, I know Charles is gonna go ahead and say squeeze the fish, but no, that ain't happening. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
December 22nd, St. Bonaventure comes to Northeastern.
We're gonna be there, right? We're gonna be there.
Absolutely. Hey, BC plays Missouri.
Yes.
September 25th.
Let's go.
I'm excited for that game.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it.
Yep.
Keep a lookout. I'm not even teasing anything. Just keep your eyes peeled. We'll catch you next week.